oh, it's preparing, so we're probably going to go live. So what I will do is I probably, once this is live, I think I will start the, I'll start the webinar. So I'll click start webinar and you'll start to see the participants come in. Okay, we are live. So let's get this going. I'll start the webinar. All right. All right, here we go. The doors have opened. So welcome everyone. We'll give everybody a couple more minutes to come on in. I like to tell everybody to say, find your seats. Actually, you're probably already in your seats. So it's like what I said to you last week, Christine, when I said, thanks for coming, but you actually were at home. So it's the same thing. I still say, thanks for everybody for, can't say for coming, but now it's thanks for joining us. So we'll give, give everybody a couple more minutes and then we will get started. This is great audience. This is welcome everybody. All right, welcome, come on in. All right, everybody come in. All right, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to the MassMEP webinar, Massachusetts Manufacturing Accelerate Program, or what we like to say is MMAP, which is preparing the supply chain. And this is with the Center for Advanced Manufacturing. We are going to also shorten that one up and go with CAM at and Massachusetts Technology Collaborative, where we like to call it MassTech. So basically, I just took 3 titles and shortened them all up the best that I could. And today, our panelist we have with us is the Director of CAM, Miss Christine Nolan. I am Haley Steele, the Marketing Manager with MassMEP. I'll be the moderator for your webinar, and we want to thank you all for joining us. As you can see, we are in a webinar format, so the mics are muted, but there will be plenty of ways for you to engage with Christine during the webinar today. We do have the Q&A and the chat, so for those of you that may be new to Zoom or use other platforms, on the bottom, you should have a little ribbon that shows your mic, your stop video, and you will also see if you have it compressed, there'll be a more button. If you click on that, you should see the Q&A, which is 2 chat bubbles that are kind of laying on top of each other, and then chat, which is the actual chat bubble. The chat bubble, we like to say, if you have something specific that you want to direct to Christine that might be more of a private conversation, that's where we ask for you to use the chat. The Q&A, however, we always say that if you have a question yourselves, more than likely there's somebody else within the audience, and it is a pretty large audience we have with us today, has a very similar question. So we will be answering them. It also is a way for us to develop, actually for Christine and her team to develop a frequently asked question live feed, which we will get into in a couple of minutes. And then that way you can pop them in there, we can answer them. Christine will be answering them live, and we'll also be typing them in as well. So that will be active throughout the entire webinar, and we will be interjecting and I will be asking Christine those questions for her to get you those answers. We do have an hour set aside for the webinar today. We feel it's plenty of time for the content and the Q&A. We will be respectful of our panelists' time and of your time. So what we have done is we will address the questions, but there will be an FAQ page that will be added to the cam.masstech.org website. Don't worry, I will put that in the chat so you can click on that and it will take you there, because Christine will probably refer to that a couple times today in her presentation. But please be patient as they are currently building that page out right now. So they'll have the FAQ will be active as soon as all the questions and answers are compiled for the live document. Just one more note, the webinar is being streamed live on Facebook. So hello everybody on the MassMEP Facebook page. This will be available on our Facebook page after the webinar concludes. So if you've sat through this webinar and you think of another company that may be very, interested in this or be able to apply and be a part of this program, send them over to the Facebook page at MassMEP under our videos, and they will be able to watch the video live as well. And then from there, they'll be able to access all the information that we do have on our website, and also for the website for CAM. So we will have that live and available on our Facebook page. So without further ado, I think we've got a good amount of people in and at their seats. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Christine.
Thank you so much, Haley, for having me today. It's exciting to be here and to be sharing this new program with you and the audience. As Haley mentioned, I'm happy to take questions throughout the entire presentation. No need to hold until the end. I know you're all muted, but I'd rather have things interactive, so that's good. So I'm going to share a presentation for us today. All good?
Perfect.
So Haley threw out a lot of acronyms to you today, so I thought I'd just step back a little bit and explain a little bit who we are, where we're coming from, because I'm not sure everyone may know. So Mass Tech Collaborative, who's that? We are a quasi-state agency that is focused on economic development in tech and innovation. We're actually 5 divisions, one of them being the Center for Advanced Manufacturing. But the other divisions are innovation, that's Pat Larkin's group, because so many people know Pat, so just throwing that out there, broadband, e-health, and cybersecurity. But we're here from the Center for Advanced Manufacturing, where work closely with the state's Economic Development Agency and getting these programs out to you to help support our manufacturers. And what are we all about? We're all about driving success for you. So we have programs and resources and opportunities, but we're focused on creating a complete manufacturing ecosystem to enable business growth. And when we look at this, we do look at from the startup to the larger OEMs, and we're looking at programs around, we have 3 pillars: innovation, talent, and creating this competitive business environment that helps drive your success. And I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of those, but focus today with this MMAP program, which is really out of our innovation pillar, right? So what are we doing to support innovation, right? As in Massachusetts, we're known as the innovation state, right? We think of the amount of innovations that we have coming, whether it's coming out of our universities, our startup ecosystem, our federal labs. But what I want to make sure is that not only are we connecting our manufacturing to these innovations, but making sure that you're prepared to meet the demands of these emerging technologies. Things are constantly changing, right? Constantly getting faster, higher quality, and we have to make sure that you're equipped to do that and meet these demands. That's what we're about. So what's great in the state is that we have so many resources that help our manufacturers succeed. But what I also think is, of the 7,000 manufacturers in the state, most are not aware of all these resources. For all of you here in this webinar, I think you're ahead of the game. You're here, right? You're listening. You're going to learn something today, hopefully more than just about MMAP, that will help you and that you'll access moving forward. And so when we think about innovation, I think about capital to help you with these innovations, projects that you can access, universities and labs and what's happening there and how to connect to them, right? So for instance, I'm not going to pick out everything here and go through all of it, but from the project's perspective, we're connected into a lot of federal projects, things coming out of the DoD. We're going to be running some workshops, or hope to be running some workshops soon, that's going to focus in the additive manufacturing space for the DoD. So, we'll look for you to join those, learn more about what the DoD is doing in additive, particular projects, and how to get engaged. Over on the talent and workforce side, we're out talking to manufacturers all the time. And, granted, business opportunity is always number one for you. But what's second? Not having really hard time hiring, right? Building your workforce, finding the talent. And of my small team, we dedicate probably 75% of our time to thinking about talent and workforce. There's a lot of different training programs out there through the community colleges and through our Voc Tech schools. We're working closely with them to make sure, and we're developing new programs to fill gaps. But, for all that there's these programs out there and this training that's available, and dollars to help you send, by the way, your current employees to these training, we want, with our Mass Bridge program, we're filling this gap to train your employees and train new people into these higher level to meet the needs of these emerging technologies like photonics and additive manufacturing, flexible hybrid electronics. So take a look at these programs. But what the thing is we're not getting enough people into manufacturing, right? We have these programs, we want to fill the pipeline. And we want the people to see that manufacturing is a really good career choice. There's the pays there, the jobs are stable, there's benefits tied to them, and there's opportunities for growth once you're in the manufacturing field. So what we're doing is around the business environment, there's a lot of work in the year ahead focused on promoting manufacturing as a career choice, getting more people engaged. We also want to get our OEMs engaged to say, hey, look at Massachusetts is open for business when it comes to manufacturing. The supply chain is here for you. You don't need to go. You certainly don't need to go offshore. Stay here and look no further than Massachusetts for you to meet your needs. So, and I talked a little bit about this environment and creating this manufacturing. Like we talk all the time, we want those billboards out there that say, robotics is not stealing your jobs. Come work with us, right? And but we want to showcase to everybody that there are these resources here that will help you, whether it's connecting into MassMEP, mass development for low-cost business loans, Mass Office business development for the tax incentive program. And please refer to their website. They know some of their programs certainly a lot better than I do. Mass robotics, and if you're in the robotics field, connect with them. There's so much happening there. So, and then, I'm going to talk a little bit even about this new program, how it's going to help you to create connections. So that's a little bit about CAM, how we're mobilizing the ecosystem. Now let's talk a little bit on the innovation side, what Center for Advanced Manufacturing is doing. So for almost 5 years now, we've been running a program called M2I2. And this was established, it's a $93 million fund, all grants, focused in capital. It is aligned with the Manufacturing USA Institutes. There's, I think, 12 Manufacturing USA Institutes that are all DoD priorities. So the Massachusetts, about 5 years ago, as I said, decided to focus on 4 of those institutes with this M2I2 program. So if you have projects that are aligned in robotics, photonics, flexible hybrid electronics, or functional fabrics, these dollars are available for you to apply for. It's project-based, it's all capital, as I mentioned, but it can be a little bit more cumbersome because you have to align with these institutes, and you have to get institute support in order to receive matching M2I2 dollars. But as I said, there's quite a bit of dollars still available there, and there's going to be some new changes coming that you'll want to watch for too, with as this program is evolving and coming up to the 5-year mark. But with COVID, what people started looking at, how we could help our manufacturers from an economic development perspective. And through the economic development plan, we were given, CAM, $10 million over 5 years, $2 million the first year is approved. And we created this MMAP program. And what we're looking for, what we look at this program is filling the gap of what M2I2 is missing. And it's all about preparing our supply chain and getting our small, our SMEs scaled up, meeting needs, the demands of Industry 4.0, and giving, spurring new opportunities for growth. So that's what MMAP is. I'm going to stop for a second because I see that there's a few questions. I'm going to go into details on MMAP next, but I'll stop with these questions and see if I can answer them for you.
Yeah, I think Christine, so the one question is, how about semiconductor? I think that's regarding the M2I2, how it has those 4 programs listed. And I think the question, and if I'm wrong, Ben, please feel free to type in here, but I think they may be asking, how about semiconductor? How does that fit into any of these programs?
Sure. So interesting, semiconductor. I think many of you probably have been following the press about the shortage of semiconductors here. And we are watching the federal legislation very closely, and the CHIPS Act in particular. I don't know how many of you are watching it, about 50 or $52 billion that they're targeting to help reshore semiconductor manufacturing. So we're taking a look at it from the state and from our major semiconductor players on how we should best align, if those dollars to come through, to help in Massachusetts. So there's going to be more to come on that. We're watching it right now. We're thinking about where, Massachusetts isn't necessarily going to be building a big foundry like some other parts of the United States, but obviously from the R&D side of things and prototyping and specialized microelectronics, there's opportunities for us. And so more to come on that. That's kind of what right now where we sit with it. Often semiconductor will play obviously into the photonics space, which is AIM Photonics, which is one of the institutes we support. So if you have specific questions about a project and it fits into M2I2, please do reach out. Farhad Bazagu on my team runs that program. He's been running it for a few years now and knows all there is to know, and can certainly help you to look at your project and if it makes sense. Any other questions on that?
So I see that Scott has his hand up. And Ben said, got it, thanks. So that's perfect. Oh, looks like Scott must have put his hand down. Maybe he thought, oh, I don't have a question. Scott, if you do have a question though, or you think of it, maybe you forgot it. If you're anything like me, you have forgotten it by the time. So please, if you remember it, just pop it back into the Q&A and we can, we'll make sure that we get it taken care of for you. So yeah, so you answered Ben's question. So I guess we're ready to move on.
Great.
Awesome.
Okay, so diving into some of the details around the MMAP program. First of all, applications are open. I'm going to talk a little further on the timeline. Date the application closes is July 29th. So if you're going to be interested in this program, important to watch for, make sure you July 29th. So as I mentioned, it's $2 million total award for the year. The max that you can apply for with this program is $250,000. And it is for capital equipment purchases to help our SMEs. A lot of times people are going to ask what's included in capital. And so it basically follows the IRS guidelines around capital. And so, but on our website in the FAQ page, we are going to put what that means. Capital can include like a person that's being trained on the new piece of equipment. So that's one thing that's definite. But I would suggest, because it tends to be a little bit of IRS language, that you just reference that. So But 200, and you're going to see, by the way, like with the application, which we try to keep it simple, it very much follows, the application follows our judging criteria. You know, so as you are going through these questions, like, and I'm going to hit some of these, you know, you're just not like, for instance, let me just get to one of these: alignment with key state industries. It's a plus, right? So if you're aligning with semiconductor, battery technologies, additive, or supplying into the defense and aerospace industry, you're going to get more points. If you don't, if you're not that, it doesn't preclude you from applying and potentially getting the award, but it's just plus in supporting those industries. So one-to-one cost share. So we are asking that you know, if you're looking for $250,000, you have at least $250,000 in matching. This can come from many different resources. Like if you were to get funding from other, well, obviously it's private investments, but if you were to get some money from an institute or another resource, that applies with your matching. It just can't be other state funds that you're putting towards your match. You can also have in kind, like if you're training someone and it's costing you $25,000, that can be included in your match.
So Christine, I'm going to ask you these questions, and maybe you might be answering these as you're going through here, but Scott did put a question in. He said, could the purchase of capital equipment be used by our manufacturing partners or subcontractors to support our volume?
So you're saying one of your subcontractors wants to purchase the equipment? If that's what you're asking, yes.
Yeah, so he says we are planning, we would be planning outsourcing to manufacturing to 4 different Massachusetts-based companies.
Mm-hmm. So that was what I was going, that's critical. Yeah. Obviously the equipment has to stay within the state.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they would apply directly, you know, so we could talk about that. And if I think you said it was Scott, you know, you can reach out to me and we can talk further about your specifics if you'd like. And I mean, my email is nolan@masstech.org, which you can throw into the chat. Yep. But I am happy to connect with anyone if they have questions that I'm not answering in full right now.
I put your email in too, so it's in the chat.
Okay. All right, great. So next is in regards to partnerships. So with these dollars, the money cannot flow directly to one company, to the manufacturer. So what we're asking, which I think is also a benefit in what we're trying to accomplish with this program, is that you bring a partner in on this application or on this award. And this partner, it has to be a nonprofit organization, higher education. It is a 2-year academic institution or higher, so community colleges are higher, or another quasi-public agency. And there's 2 purposes here. The money has to flow through a nonprofit. It can flow directly from that nonprofit. For instance, I'm going to just use this Quinsigamond Community College. It goes through Quinsigamond over to, and they just pass the money on to you, and the equipment lives in your facility. But in addition, what we look at it is like, choose a partner that helps to build out your network or helps you to solve problems. So if you don't have a partner and I line you up with Quinsigamond Community College, I'm going to hope that you're going to be learning more about their advanced manufacturing training, and you see them as a pipeline to meet your workforce needs. Mm-hmm. If you're a robotics company and you don't know Mass Robotics yet, I'm going to maybe introduce you, this is just examples, to Mass Robotics. You now have a relationship with Mass Robotics. The money flows through Mass Robotics over to you and the equipment stays with you. I know this is often a question. Do they pull any funds from you? So yes, they are going to pull a very small percentage of those funds to just administer it. So, but again, it's helping to build partnerships and build out this ecosystem. And you're going to see, by the way, in the application, if you don't have that connection yet to someone, we're happy to help you establish the right connection. So it's not critical to have that before you apply, and we can talk about what's best for you. Your questions?
I do. So we have
Questions always come up on this one, by the way.
I know this is a big one, which is great. These are great questions. So the first question we have is, can training CC students be counting for one-to-one cost share, bringing, of course, some manufacturer? CC students, I'm not quite
Community
sure.
college.
There you go. So, okay.
So read that to me one more time. I'm not seeing it necessarily in the chat. So
yeah.
Oh, can
in the
training
Q&A.
CC?
Yeah.
Satish, I think I'm going to, can training, I think I'm going to get back to you because I don't want to say something incorrectly, and I'll include that in the FAQ. But training dollars on equipment can be used for the one-to-one. But the nuance of your particular question, you know, I would like to get back to you on.
Okay.
I do see Michael's equipment.
Yeah, so Michael, and honestly, Rita Kapoor in the chat has a similar question. And then she has another question, which obviously I like Rita because she brings us into the second question, but Michael and Rita do have pretty similar questions regarding the capital equipment. Can it be used on equipment that was purchased and delivered in 2021, but not before the grant is awarded?
So our fiscal year starts on July 1. So this has to be, it have to be after that, following our fiscal year. So it's July 1 to June 30th. So we're looking for all dollars to come following that. You know, we have to get through the expectation of these dollars are going to be awarded in October. It cannot be for equipment that's already been purchased.
Okay. All right. So Milton and Rita both asked, and then Gloria has now asked. So Milton and Rita both asked, can we use MassMEP? Is MassMEP a qualified partner for this program? And then Gloria asks, can we collaborate with MassHire Career Centers?
Yes, you can. MassMEP and MassHires qualify as nonprofit partners. Bernie, I know this partner question is always, so all I'm saying is, if you don't have that connection to a nonprofit already, reach out to us. We're happy to help you establish that nonprofit partner to and for you to apply for this. And in the application, it even says that. Do you have one? If not, let us know and we'll help you. So if you know, and we'll reach out around that with you.
Yeah, shameless plug here, Bernie. We're actually a nonprofit, so MassMEP. Shameless plug. I don't know if we can fit what you need, but we can try. But yeah, that's kind of what our Christine and I. That's our thing, right, Christine?
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it looks like you got them all caught up so far.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So so Rita then does ask, can we purchase equipment post July 1? Prior to grant approval, or do we need to get approved and then purchase as equipment takes weeks to receive? It definitely has to be within that period though, right, Christine?
It has to be within the year. We do understand that often it takes longer to get equipment in and to work through everything, the contracting, and so invoicing and equipment delivery. So we are trying to get we try hard to get all the dollars in by June 30th. If it extends beyond that, you know, we just need to know, and we would work through that with you. Can you purchase? So there's no guarantee that you're going to be getting these dollars if you, so I can't, it's, you know, we're not announcing the grantees until October.
Yeah.
So take that into consideration.
Yeah. So take the October timeline into consideration when looking into this.
That's right.
And then Bernie just asked another question. Do most nonprofits have contract teams that can work with us and negotiate that application before the deadline? My limited experience is that process takes months.
So through M2I2, and we already work closely with a lot of these partners. So we should be able to work that through with you. And Bernie, I can talk with you more about this. Happy to, and make sure that I get you the information that you're looking for.
And I will give him your email address as well, Christine.
Right.
All right.
Another point in the application, the purpose of this program is to make sure that we're broadening impact across regional, social, and racial boundaries. So hope to, get these funds across the state and to some, work companies that are diverse in their makeup. And of course, I think, most important, when the state looks at giving out these dollars is it's about economic impact in the state as well as jobs created. And so, we will ask you that question. Are you planning on doing any hiring with this? At what level of employees are you looking to have? But, one of the things when we think about people coming in entry level into manufacturing is we promote manufacturing as a good career choice because there's that opportunity for growth. Mm-hmm. And so we like to see companies that have workforce training plans in place, right? They know that. So, and we encourage that, right? So we're asking some of those questions within the application.
So Michael asked the question, this is actually a great question. If you apply for the grant of $250, is there a possibility that you may receive a lesser amount, or is it all or none?
That is a good question. I think I'm going to have to get back to you on that one, Michael. And with the answer, I will post that into our FAQ.
All right, so we'll put that one on so Michael, congratulations, you made the FAQ page.
And I can tell you that for M2I2, that does happen. With our M2I2 program, somebody could ask for $1 million and we only give some lesser amount. So, yes. But I will put it in the FAQ.
Good, great.
The answer for MMAP.
Awesome. All right, we're caught up with those questions. Oh, I lied. Chrissy asked, can you submit more than one application?
There will only be one award per company. Whether you want to submit for different pieces of equipment. You know what, I think, Chrissy, I'm going to have to get back to you on that one as well. But only one award per company.
All right.
And that is what I have around MMAP. So I would encourage, we hope to see a lot of applications. Our goal, getting these dollars out by October is, pretty quick and giving everybody time to, get your applications in and fully reviewed and the right awards made. We're hoping to make an economic impact in the state and for our manufacturers quickly. So please do apply and feel free to reach out with any other questions. Before I go, I also want to share with everyone on the call a new program, a new conference that we're kicking off.
Yay!
Yeah, and so be honest with you, it's not even fully launched yet, but what the heck? Oh, wait a minute. I
oh, yes.
Back.
Yeah, this is huge. Everybody. Yeah. So Rita did just
my
say,
timeline.
Yeah, Rita's like, hey, can you remind me of all the deadlines and everything? So this is the time where everybody needs to take their phone out of their pockets right now and get a screenshot, or they can go to the website. I'm going to put it in the chat again. And I think all of this is on the website as well, right, Christine?
It is all on the website. And my apologies for forgetting this slide. No. Application deadline, I said it July 29th. A month later at most, our first round finalists will be announced, and then we're going to ask some of people to come in and do a live pitch for us. in front of experts from the ecosystem. And then the winners will be notified during Manufacturing Month on their awards.
Yeah, there you go.
And speaking of Manufacturing Month, that was my lead into my
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So September 28th, we are kicking off Manufacturing Month with a new conference called the Mass Manufacturing Mashup. And it's all about bringing a new vibe to manufacturing, an opportunity. And this new vibe, a lot of it is going to be driven because we are hosting it at the new Woosocks Polar Park Stadium.
Yay.
So it's a mix of indoor, outdoor space. We're bringing in, it's an opportunity to discover new business opportunities, find these resources. All of our different resources from across the ecosystem will be there to showcase what they're doing and how they can help you. Obviously, an opportunity to meet new partners, and of course, education tracks. So this is a collaborative effort from a number of our partners, including MassMEP, Forge, Mass Robotics, WPI, Mass Hires, and we have Startup Showcase through Forge. We have a big robotics track through Mass Robotics, the Manufacturing Caucus Awards, which many of you may have been involved in through winning these awards. They give out 70 different awards. That's coming to the event. So we're super excited about it. Mark your calendars now. If you haven't had a chance, which I don't think many of us have yet, to go over to Polar Park in Worcester, it's super cool stadium. Definitely worth checking out. And no game that night, sorry, but a chance to see the stadium, and lots of fun, and hope you can join us.
So exciting. Yay, we can promote it. We've been pestering Christine for a couple of weeks. Like, can we push it yet? Can we push it yet? And now that it's live and we can
almost there. It's this close.
So close. It's so close. But hey, we can do it, save the date, and that's all that matters. So
that's right.
Super excited about it. So before you close out, Christine, I do have two more questions. Paul is asking, as a contract manufacturer, what is the mechanism for proof that the capital investment is going to serve these specific industries? These are great questions. This audience has had awesome questions today.
Even my dog's barking in the background with that question. I don't know if you can hear him.
The dog thought that question was great too, Christine. That's what that means.
Yeah, I mean, there is going to be reporting required with if you were to receive the grant. And so I'm not sure if that answers it. Proof, I mean, we're going to, evaluate these applications and what you share with us in the application. We certainly will be looking at your website, but I don't have any further details on that at this point. And if there's some more specifics, we will definitely post that in the FAQ.
Okay, so we'll do some more specifics on the FAQ page. Okay. All right. So the last question, I think this is actually probably a best question to close out this webinar, is thank you, Mike. I did not pay him to put this question. I promise you. He says, hi, I'm Mike. I sell capital equipment, so I will not apply for the grant, but what can I do to help and tell my customers about this program?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly would be happy to, the information is all on the website. So feel free to share out the program with your customers. And as long as they're manufacturing, Massachusetts based, and that they are keeping the equipment here, they can apply. So
yeah, absolutely.
And if you are looking for some particular materials or anything, certainly just reach out to me.
Yeah.
We can share like the announcement that went out, or that you could share.
Yeah, so I'm putting in all the websites for you, Mike. Christine also was gracious enough to, she participated in the MassMEP Manufacturing podcast. There's information on there, MassMAmanufacturing.com. I mean, you can send them any kind of way possible. Obviously, this will now live on our Facebook page, so you can go on our Facebook page, but anything else, you know, we've got tons of it. So we will be more than happy to push it out as well if need be. So we'll give you whatever marketing you need for this because we want this to be successful for Christine. So.
Well, and for our manufacturers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a priority in the whole thing. That's what it's all about is them. So yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for joining today and spending the time with us. We look forward to working with you. If anybody wants to learn more about some of the resources that are out there for you from a training perspective and getting your incumbent workers trained or versus some of these different programs, happy to help. We look forward to working with you and hearing from you.
Awesome. Great. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And we appreciate you spending some time with us today. Christine, super quick. And as Rita put it in perfect words, quick, efficient, and very informative. So that is the goal. So it was how we put this all together. It was all planned, everybody. This was all planned. So we're quick like that. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Have
please
a great day.
have a great day and go into the chat if you need to make any further connections. And we will see everyone next time.
Sounds good.
We just gotta pop everybody out. Everybody's on their way out. Everybody's out the door, leaving. Yeah, everybody's out. A couple more. Usually I have a couple more people on here with me to do this.
Wow.
I usually do it. I usually have Emma or Christy in the background.
I just remove them.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So there's one.
Unless it's because I'm doing it.
No, there's this one I can. Oh, we're good. Everybody's out. We're at 0.
I see one. I see Kenneth.
Yeah, let me.